So this video is going to be for anybody that is either starting an entrepreneur journey or is in the middle of it, or maybe you're rebuilding or you're rebranding or you're just trying to find, what your passion is, what your purpose is. So as some of you know, I started my entrepreneur journey about 5 years ago when I got laid off from my job and I was having trouble trying to find another one. And I decided I was going to take matters into my own hands basically and just go for it. And I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I had no mentor. I had no course or class that I took. I had no plan. I was just learning anything and everything possibly that would get me somewhere. It was just, how can I make money? I needed to pay my bills. I needed to pay my rent. Um, and I did website development, graphic design, logos, business cards, merch, e-commerce, Etsy, Shopify, I mean, you name it. And I ended up doing that for a few years until Etsy shut my account down and I lost my business. And I kind of had to take a year off and reevaluate what I wanted to do. That's how I ended up here. So I'm going to share a couple tips, a couple things that I've learned, and just try to motivate you guys because I've been there. I know how it is. I know how it goes. I know we can be overwhelmed with doubt and fear, especially if you don't have anybody else in your life that thinks the way that you do or has the same kind of dream and passion as you. Because that's how it was for me. And I was learning everything on my own, on top of having doubt like, this isn't anything I've been taught. I don't know anybody else that does this. So I felt very lonely for a while, and it felt like I was trying to also be like, while being new into learning everything, and you kind of have that pink cloud where everything's exciting, and then you're like, okay, now what? But I didn't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, or anybody clapping for me and cheering for me and rooting me on. Like, the closest person that was doing that for me was my boyfriend, and I thank God for him because he's always allowed me to just be who I want to be and the person that I needed to be at that time. But there were moments where it got serious, where like I wasn't making money. I was running in place, is what I felt like. It was like I was doing all the things, but I wasn't producing the results. And like our electric got shut off, and we had to sit down and have a serious talk like, hey, what are we doing here? But even then, like, he still cheered me on. And, I'm grateful for that. But I recognize that there's a lot of people that maybe don't have those people. And in my experience, especially with older generations that don't really, they're not familiar with technology. They're not familiar with getting monetized on platforms. So I feel like people are always going to tell you what they think is best for you because they have your best interest at heart, but they also lack education, right? Maybe they don't know how to use technology. Maybe they've never been taught that you can get paid to post, things like that. So, my biggest advice would be to just start. And I know that sounds so cliche and like, oh yeah, okay, just start. But like, seriously, I'm going to explain why. Because if you just make it exist, then you can refine and you can see what works, see what doesn't, trial and error. You don't have to have it all figured out, right? I surely didn't. And I think that's kind of what benefited me because I was able to see what works and see what didn't. I had 5 or 6 different business names and business ideas, and I tried to do everything at once. And I would really have an end goal of like having one niche or one thing that you can really work on. But in the beginning, try everything. If you want to sell products, if you want to make products, if you want to make videos, just do it. And then you can see what works, see what you like to do, see what you're good at, see what you can work on. But it has to exist first for you to be able to analyze. And even if you don't post, Practice talking on camera. Even if you never post the videos, that's still practice. And my motto, as everyone knows, is practice makes progress. We focus on the progress, not the perfection. So that's kind of like the root idea here. And then once it exists, you can, whether, it's social media, you can go back and look at your analytics. You can watch back your content. That is a huge one for me. I always watch my content back before I edit, after I post. And I think it's very important to see yourself from a viewer's perspective. Or if you have a business, go onto your website as if you're a shopper. Pretend like you're a shopper. What are they going to see? What are they going to look for? Is it easy to get to all of your categories or to find information or to find the FAQ? Is your information very clear on your shipping and your shipping costs and your time frames, things like that? So just make it exist first. Practice your reps, practice your craft, whatever it is, and then focus on things that you can control. Because we can't control how many sales we get. We can't control how many views we get. We can't control how many subscribers or followers we get. And also, those things to me don't matter. I think a lot of people are very focused on going viral, and I talk about this a lot, but I think that going viral does not matter. I've seen people make millions of dollars with under 1,000 subscribers. It's just the way that you present and the way that you're talking to your target audience, right? A couple of weeks ago, I posted about how I had a video hit 50,000 views on TikTok. And it's like, yeah, cool. I have that 50,000 view number, but what did that do for me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All it is a video with 50,000 views. I didn't get followers from it. I didn't get more than 2 or 3 engaging comments. 50,000 people saw my video. Okay, then what? I went viral. Like, no. I always say quality over quantity when it comes to followers and subscribers and engaging comments. Anybody can just post a video and get, a couple comments, whatever, but what are those comments actually doing for you? Are they bringing in new people? Are they starting conversations? Are they providing value? And I talk about this one a lot too, that impact is greater than income. We can't focus on how much money we're making. Like, we can't focus on how many views we're getting, because if you're monetized, the views equal the money, right? And I see a lot of people with channels a lot bigger than me talk about how they get millions of views, but they only get paid dollars, cents, a couple dollars. If you are creating a YouTube channel that is meant to be monetized, like that's your goal, think about what else you can do. How else can you provide value? How else can you give people something that's going to transform their life in some way? Because again, a lot of you know that in my past businesses, I was just focusing on the money. I was doing whatever I could to make money as fast as possible, and I lost it all. And then I heard from God telling me, like, yeah, it might be a slower growth and a more long-term thing, but if you start creating videos and talking to people like they're humans and making people feel seen and heard and valued and loved, that's way more important than just chasing money. Because if I was still chasing money and I was still just trying to, make sure that I'm secure, and part of it was afraid of being seen. I didn't want to be authentic. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to, have people that I know in real life make fun of me. And I think that's a lot of fears for a lot of people. And I had to go through this journey of realizing that I am valuable and I've learned a lot and I have a lot to share. And I'm sure one person could be inspired by my story, by my advice, by my experiences. And that's what it's all about. It's creating a connection And even if it starts with 1 or 2 people, that means a lot. And then you can work on scaling it. But my whole point here is you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know exactly what you're going to be doing. And even if you have an idea of what you want to do, realize that you might not be doing that forever. It's going to grow and it's going to evolve and it's going to change based on your skills, what you like doing, what the audience likes, and you learn as you go. And I think that's the message for life, really. We learn as we go. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. And we can be stuck in analysis paralysis forever, but that's not going to get you anywhere. That's going to keep you stuck. I used to watch thousands of videos and tell myself that I was preparing myself more, I was learning more so I could do things better, I could do things right. But the true experience of just doing it is where I learned the most. Because you can watch videos all day, but until you're actually physically doing it, like think about any other job where you have like training videos, right? They help to a point, but they don't help the same way that actually physically doing it does. And I know for me, I'm a visual learner, I'm a hands on tactile learner, whatever that's called. Just do it. Just start. Just make it exist. And then you can go from there. A lot of people just stay stuck and worry about whether it's the fears and the doubts from outside voices or you aren't healed enough to the point where you can just have the confidence and go. And I surely thought I had the confidence when I started, but I didn't. I totally didn't. I was such a afraid, like I overthink and I overanalyzed everything. And it just kept me stuck, kept me more stuck. I tried to do faceless channels, even faceless TikToks, faceless YouTubes. I tried to do all kinds of things, but the real growth and the real healing comes from doing it and just showing up, just being consistent. And I'm going to be honest with you guys today, I am exhausted. I've been working 12 plus hour days, and I'm going to be working 12 plus hour days the next few days. And I didn't really want to make a video, but I said, no. I told myself I'm going to post a video every Wednesday and every Saturday, no matter what. No matter what. And, some of my videos I feel like are better than others, but I'm still showing up. And I'm getting in that habit of being consistent and just being myself and holding on to the fact that I know that there's many of you out there that do watch my videos and hopefully look forward to them, hopefully learn something from them, and, get to know me. That's what this is all about. I'm not focused on views. I'm not focused on money. I don't know where this channel is going. I have ideas. I have plans. I've already made a word search puzzle book, which I'll show you guys in another video. I don't have it with me right now, but I made that a couple years ago. I have it linked in the description if you want to check it out. It's mostly about spirituality and consciousness and crystals and the chakras and meditation and manifestation and all that. If you're into that, word search puzzle books honestly have been a part of my life for a long time. They used to be my go-to, and especially like in rehab when I didn't have my phone and stuff like that. And it's actually a form of meditation if you didn't know. Anything that takes your mind off of something and keeps it focused on one thing, like, is meditating. So whether that's doing a puzzle, coloring, drawing, painting, playing an instrument, I consider those all forms of meditation. It's not just sitting there and quiet and going, you know? But anyway, so I was thinking about making another one of those, maybe like all about sobriety. And I have ideas for books and worksheets. I'm still not at the place where I want to ever like have a coaching course or anything like that. I never want to be in the position where I feel like I'm telling people what to do, because I think that everybody's journey is unique. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And again, I feel like all of those are providing value. hopefully if you guys have any other ideas or anything that you would want, maybe let me know. But that's kind of where I'm at with where I want this channel to go. And again, this is me. Manifestation in progress. Practice makes progress. I'm going to keep saying it. But I'm documenting my journey in real time. I didn't do this with my last businesses, and I think this is a different angle that I can come back and look at. Hopefully, when, I have a bigger channel and I've grown so much more, then I can look back and say, wow, I've come a long way. That's how I want my business to go from now on, providing value, making connections, making an impact, inspiring others. And that's what it's all about. That's what I really truly think that God is telling me to do. It's not about money. We all have a purpose, we all have skills, we all have talents, we can all provide a service. And you just got to figure it out, because we all have one. We all have a passion and a purpose. You just got to find it. So if this video resonated with you, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, share with somebody who may need to hear it. And until next time, remember to stay kind to yourself. I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you. I'll see you in the next one.